Welcome to Colorado Inside Out Postgame, a special web-exclusive production here on Channel 12. Let's get a quick take on the LGBTQ rights group Opt Out that is urging the Bolder Boulder to drop their slogan, "Sea level is for sissies," due to what they see as an offensive slogan. Patty Cahoon from Westward, we've had a lot of different conversations in Colorado over free speech and what's right, and we're certainly in a more sensitive state. But sea level for sissies, I don't know, that doesn't seem to draw a lot of pain and suffering from a lot of groups. What do you think?
No, I think sea level is for sissies. And for those of us who live here at a mile high and have to put up with all the endless jokes, especially now about being in the mile high city, I mean, we were all over the national comic shows this week with jokes with the CSO, and we have been since January 1st. If we can live with that, sea level can live with the sissies.
David Copeland from the Independence Institute and DU Law School. It feels like a promotional grab from Opt Out and less about a problem that Bolder Boulder has, but maybe I'm being blind to it. What do you think?
It feels like these people really missed their true calling by not living in China during the Cultural Revolution. You know, Boulder is not a city that has a problem of discrimination against gays and lesbians at all. And so having run out of real problems, here they are just imposing their totalitarian political correctness on everybody else. I mean, it's important to remember that these people don't speak for all of the gay rights movement. There's a lot of people who believe in gay rights leaders, like the Independent Gay Forum, run by my Cato Institute colleague, Walter Olson, who promote gay rights from the point of view of this should increase the diversity and freedom in our society, like the Marlo Thomas record and book, Free to Be You, Free to Be You and Me, where you have more choice about who you are, as opposed to the Maoist faction, which believes there's only one way to be.
Eric Soderman, analyst from SC2. I would imagine that, I mean, David has a point. If we're at the point where a slogan on a Bolder Boulder marathon T-shirt is the crisis of the day, that's probably a good sign for the movement, but I could be wrong. What do you think?
Oh, it probably speaks to Boulder. I saw that article out of the Daily Camera a couple days ago. I threw it up on my social media, and most people agreed that this was completely over the top, completely hypersensitive, but I was both impressed and somewhat distressed by the number of people who said, no, this is offensive and whatever. You know, there's some words that clearly anyone in good conscience is not going to use in that kind of a space or put on a T-shirt. Sissies, to my thinking, I have not had my mind changed on that in the last couple days, is pretty tame stuff. And some people just need to grow a thicker skin. Anyone has a right to be offended. You can be offended by anything you want, but that doesn't mean other people have to change their behavior. There is not if you read the Bill of Rights here, there's not a constitutional right not to be offended.
That's a good point. Eli Stokols, political reporter from Fox 31 and KWGN. What'd you make of the reaction?
I think it's a small overreaction by a small subset of that community. I've been told before that, as a reporter, the gays are my base. I have a pretty good relationship with a lot of these folks and pretty sympathetic to their push for equality and a lot of their issues. I don't think this is, I mean, most of them have a pretty good sense of humor. I think this is what Dave and Eric and Patty have said. This is just sort of ridiculous. I'll tell a story in the hopes of some folks growing thicker skins that I mentioned before we got started. Mark Ferrandino, in his last week as Speaker, he's the first gay Speaker of the House. So what does his staff get him? Mark Ferrandino hates license plate bills. So they made him a big license plate with his picture in the middle. It said Speaker F, and on the bottom under his picture it said State Fruit. I'm just saying, there were a lot of laughs in the Speaker's office about that. Granted, those are his friends, but you know, I think that generally this is a community that has a pretty good sense of humor, not that thin a skin as some of these folks maybe looking for a little publicity out in Boulder.
Yeah, it looks like the sense of humor should reign the day. I get what you're saying. That's all we had. That's all the time we have for Colorado Inside Out postgame this week. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. For everyone here at CPT12.org, I'm Dominic Dezzutti. Thanks for watching.